speak for Care Plus and what we've done as part of the IDEA committee at Care Plus. And with our committee members and leadership, in order to address issues of racism, bias, and prejudice, we really had to make the invisible visible. We moved on the momentum of what happened, the George Floyd murder. And at that time, we didn't have a committee. It was after that, it was a grassroots effort by staff to form a committee. And our initial step was to create a support group for staff to sit and talk and join and really share their experiences. I think that really helped us to understand each other as colleagues. So we started there. We created a brave space where we could have these uncomfortable conversations because we really weren't having them as a group. We were having them in silos in our office with people that looked like us, but we weren't having them as a group with everyone. So that's really where we started. And then we created the committee, and as part of the committee, we created several subcommittees to address several things. So we did HR and corporate, staff training, and then community training and advocacy, which leads to some of this panel today and other panels that we've had. So that's how we've set up our committee to address racism, bias, and prejudice at Care Plus. But let me give you, some of the challenges. So, well, let me tell you first a little bit about what we did. So with HR corporate, we first started to address our hiring practices and our promotion and retention practices. We looked at that. We looked at our policy and procedure for different language that we could change. And for our staff training, we created the microaggressions training and cultural humility, implicit bias training. And we shared that with staff and externally. And our community advocacy and training, again, we've shared those trainings that we've done internally outside of the organization. We've also had this is our fourth panel, Caitlin? Fourth, I believe, fifth, fifth panel for the community, as well as sharing different information through social media and being really advocates for what we're doing. So that's some of what we've done at Care Plus. So some of the challenges that might arise, the task of dismantling racism at an organizational level has to be taken up by everyone, not just your staff of color or your marginalized staff. It really has to be across the board, and not even just the committee. Your leadership has to be involved, and we've been very lucky to have leadership support and board support, but it has to come from everywhere and from everyone. You can become performative in your work. So a challenge is making sure that the work you're doing is actually making change and not just, putting out a statement or, again, the Cultural Diversity Committee and maybe getting together with the food or potluck. We really want to make sure that we're enacting real change that's changing not only what we do, but the clients we serve and the quality of our work. Don't assume this is a short-term task. This is a lifelong learning and a lifelong assignment. This will hopefully be here at Care Plus long after I'm gone. The language changes all the time, the information changes. So this isn't a short-term task that you can check off of your list. Oh, cultural diversity done. We've got it and we're done. Lifelong work. Finally, expect to make mistakes. This is where we have to check our egos. None of us were born DEI experts. A lot of us in this field were social service workers. We're doing this work. We have brought some experts in, but we're going to make mistakes. We just have to own up to those mistakes and hope to do better. But as long as we're committed to the work and on the right track, or committed and really want to see change, hopefully we can stay on that track. So.